What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're back to an old favorite. This War of Mine just got a fat update that combines all of its DLCs with the core stuff. So basically what they did is they went back through and they released an update that took all of the DLC content and it rolls it into the normal campaign outside of the DLC as randomized content. So before, if you wanted to play certain locations or certain survivors or certain whatever, you had to play that specific DLC. Not anymore. They've taken all of the bases, they've taken all of the new localities, and they folded those into the vanilla campaign so that now you've got everything in one giant randomized place, adding a whole new level of repeatability to this game. So if you never played this game before, it's a survival crafting, building, stealth game about living in a war zone. Something akin to like the Siege of Sarajevo or something along those lines, where you are a bunch of civilians that are in the middle of a city that's being bombarded and hit with artillery, and you've got to survive until the war is over. And it's kind of a sad game, kind of a heart-rending game, kind of a game with a lot of feels, but it's also a very, very good survival game on top of that. So anyways, let's try the game. We're going to play this thing, and we've got to pick who we want to start out with. So we've got a couple of new characters over here. We can choose our story and who we want to play as. The hardest one, in my opinion, is more than likely Anton and Sveta. Although I don't really know. We can force the final cut content so that you can check out the new base that they added into the game too, which I really like that feature right there. You can start out alone as Marco. Might be kind of difficult, but then again, food won't be a concern. In my opinion, one of the best ways to play the game is actually the default way. Katya, Bruno, Pavel, or Pavel, Bruno, Marco. Those are the two original campaigns, and those give you a nice split of characters that can do various things. So every character in this game has skill sets. Every character in this game has a backstory and like something they used to do as a career that directly plays into how you interact with the game. So some characters are like ex-soldiers, and they're really good at fighting, and they're really good at killing, and they're really good at eliminating enemies and defending your base. Some characters are like reporters. Some characters, like one person is like a home caretaker who is absolutely worthless at everything. Like they have no skills at all, and they kind of just have to be carried by the rest of the group. Like they can do mundane tasks, but not really. Some characters are like somewhat crippled. You know, like it just kind of depends. And like I think I've beaten this game with almost every single setup. Like I think Anton and Sveta and Marco are new. But I think I've done all of these up here in the past, although I'd have to check my achievements to make sure. But I went through a time period with this game where I was really obsessed with it, and so after I would beat it, I would just move to the next group because I wanted to know everybody's backstory, everybody's thing. And so anyways, I'm pretty sure I've beaten like most of these. Anton, Sveta. Who is Anton? Oh, it's the old guy. Zlata and Pavel. That's not a terrible group. Like, they'll use a lot of food, but they do have a lot of manpower. So, like, they'll need a ton of food. Let's go with Pavel, Bruno, and Marco. That sounds like a pretty sweet plan. Yeah, that's fine. Let's give this a go. And so as we're loading in, like, this first day, we're going to have some considerations that we want to make, that we want to knock out in day one. First and foremost, we want to clear out our shelter and get ourselves a lot of building space so that we have room to put things in as time goes along. We're going to need space for heaters. We're going to need space for cooking grills. We're going to need space for water filters. We're going to need all kinds of space. And so we need to get people to work. Otherwise, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to clear anything out. So the characters that we have right now, we have Pavel. Pavel is very fast. He's an ex-football player. We have, I forget what he does. How long has the siege lasted? It's hard to say when every day's a struggle for survival. The city's crawling with snipers, and shelling is ordinary business almost every night. The phones don't work, and there's a shortage of food and meds, and many people are left homeless. Bruno and Marco have always been good friends, so when the war broke out, they decided to stick together. They met Pavel while scavenging for supplies. He used to be Pogorin's star football player, but now he's just another homeless victim of war. So they teamed up, hoping for the best. All right, so the characters we have right now. We have Pavel, who is really, really fast. Like, nobody in the game is as fast as Pavel. He's very, very speedy. We have Marco, who is a skilled scavenger. That, I assume, means that he's got a lot of extra space in his inventory for carrying things off the map. And then we have Bruno. Bruno is a very, very good character. The reason Bruno is a good character is because Bruno cooks double meals. So for half the amount, he can produce double the amount of food, essentially. So I guess for the same amount of food, he can produce twice as many meals because he used to be a chef or something like that. And so he's actually really, really good for stretching your food supplies farther than they would normally go. We've got 4 wood in that pile right there. I've got these 2 working on clearing this out. It looks like he's slightly sick and he is slightly wounded. That's not good. That's going to be a problem as time goes along. This could really kind of spiral out of control if we don't get on top of this like right now. So I think one of the first things that we really want to do is we want to build a bed. We've got some machine parts over here, and we've got some electrical parts. Sounds good. You get to work tearing down that barricade right there. We need to loot this entire place by the end of the day. It's 8:30 in the morning. Our day is going to end, I think, at 7 or 8 p.m. It's been a long time since I played this game last, but I have played it a lot. So I have a little bit of metagame knowledge going in because this is one of those games that I played way more than I probably should have. I was a big fan of this game when it first came out. Something's blocking it from the other side. All right. Well, then go upstairs and keep looting these piles right here. Yep. Get on up there and loot those piles. He's slightly wounded, so I want to take it easy. Oh, good. Pavel's done. Go clear that one out now. 1 pile of dirt at a time. We will make this place livable. It looks like we're in some kind of church or something. It's almost like cathedral. Like, hey, we found a lockpick. Sweet. That's really, really nice. That's going to help us get access. Every time you start out this game, there's going to be locked containers that otherwise you're just going to have to wait, and you're not going to be able to get it. Ooh, 2 lockpicks. Nice. That's really, really, really good. Go search that debris pile down there, please, while Pavel clears that out. He's almost done down here. So, yeah, we're going to be able to get into these containers first things first. It's going to be nice. I think it's going to work out pretty well. 3 lockpicks. Even better. Oh, my God. We are getting super lucky on the loot roulette right now. We are getting all kinds of goodies. Is he done down here? All right, so Marco is done. Let's go ahead and have Marco take a look around and see what he can find. Marco has himself some food. That's good. Food is nice. I like not starving, so I'll definitely take some food. Food that we found in a pile of rubble is kind of terrifying. Like, might be a little bit of tetanus in there, but I'm sure it'll be okay. We'll go ahead and unlock this real fast. There we go. And we've got meds. We've got bandages. We've got another lockpick. We've got books and a little bit of food. I'll take it. It definitely sounds workable. You get to work up here. Are we almost done up top? All right, so we'll swap over to Marco. And with Marco, we need to unlock this door right here. We're actually kind of lucky we got enough lockpicks to actually get into everything that we want to get into right now. Normally, that doesn't happen. Sometimes you just have locked containers in your house for like 3 or 4 days after you start the game because you don't get any lockpicks, so you got to craft your own, and it takes you a while to get down the tech tree. This time around, we're going to have a pretty nice boost to our starting gear simply based on the fact that we got lucky and got a whole bunch of lockpicks, so there you go. Now that that's all cleared out, we should have a free road to clear all this stuff real fast. We got some herbs right there, and we got some water. Sounds good. This bookcase over here appears to have some kind of loot on it. It's got some wood in there. I'll take that. And then on this side, we've got ourselves what? What do we have? We've got ourselves food and valuables. Food and 2 valuables. Not bad. I'll take it. Sounds like a plan to me, man. They're clearing out rubble piles over here, so we'll just have Pavel. Hey, Pavel, you coming? Look how fast he is. This guy's got moves right here. See, that's the benefit of playing soccer right there. That's a game that makes you speedy. It's a game that makes you spry. You're not going to be, like, super buff like a football player, but, like, you're going to be fast. I don't think there's a whole lot of soccer players out there that are slow. I don't know. I feel like that's something they probably filter for. I approve of the sport of soccer because you don't have to be 9 feet tall in order to play it. I never played soccer when I was a kid because there was no such thing as soccer when I was a kid. I hate to tell you, but, like, I grew up in the 80s, in the early 90s, and there just wasn't soccer. Like, there was no soccer teams or anything else. It was just everybody played basketball, baseball, or football. It's just, like, differences in culture, I guess, living in America. Now, he's slightly wounded. What we want to do with him is we're going to have him use a bandage so that hopefully he heals by tomorrow. So let's send him over here, and he's going to use a bandage. And then we'll get in there. And then, Pavel, I need you to potentially build some stuff before tonight. Hopefully we have time. We've only got 2.5 hours left, I think. Yeah, we'll send him over there. There's all of our parts. So that's everything that we're going to have for this part of the playthrough. So he has bandaged himself. I would like it if you would go use the herbal remedy real fast. I know we're going through a lot of supplies nice and early, but I need you to go through that herbal remedy. And I'll probably leave them both at home tonight to rest so that they can heal up. We are going to build a bed. I don't know where I want to put the bed, but I figure we can have a bed right there. So we'll place that down below. Hopefully it gets done in time. And then if we have enough, we could make a second bed or we could make a stove. It sort of depends on the supplies that we have on hand. So I can make both, actually. Or we can go through and make a rainwater collector. Let's go ahead and make a second bed because I want both these guys to sleep tonight. Like, if we could manage that, that would be really, really good because then they would both heal, get up to full health, and we don't have to worry about their situation worsening, which is actually a very real concern. Anytime somebody's sick or wounded in this game, there's a chance they'll get worse every single day, that they don't sleep and that they don't rest. And so I'm trying to take care of that sooner rather than later. I don't know if... Do we have enough stuff to do anything else? We have enough stuff right now to do a cooking stove. So I am going to do the cooking stove. We'll put that in the kitchen with the rest of the food because why not? And so we've got 2 beds and a cooking stove done on our first day, and we are officially tapped out of materials. But we do have 2 beds, which is really, really nice. We could put him right there, and he can sleep, and he'll actually recover while he sleeps. We do have a big medicine right there, which is nice. I'd rather trade it away than use it, because medicine is one of the more valuable items in this game. But we're going to have to wait and see how that plays before that's going to be an available option. Yeah, I'd like to send Marco out to scavenge, but there's no guarantee. So Marco can hold 15 slots. I'm going to have these guys sleep, and I'm going to have him scavenge, just in the hope that those 2 will heal. And if they heal, we'll be all right. So we've got 2 different locations we can go to right now. The quiet house is like old people there. So if you go here, you're going to have to make one of your first dubious moral decisions of the game. Do you rob the old people? And honestly, if you rob the old people, you will be set for the first half of the game. But it does say things about you as a player. So, like, it's up to you what you want to do. We're going to be doing a good guy playthrough this time around. Robbing the old people is a valid option, and you will get, like, tons of meds and tons of supplies and tons of food. And you'll be good for a long time if you do that. But I think it's better for now if we go to the toy store. So we do have a lockpick. We can use that. I'll bring that with me, even though it uses up one of my inventory slots. This place has no threats on the radar. So there should be nobody in this area that's going to be trying to kill us, whack us, murder us, any of that stuff. So let's start out. We've only got 12 slots right now. It's a little bit rough, but it's better than nothing. There's food and wood. What I like to do is I like to collect everything at a container in the front of the map. So we're going to leave that container unlooted for right now. And we're just going to loot everything we can with the time we have on hand. Hey, you're not hostile, right? I'm just looking for something. Hey, do what you got to do. No arguments from me. We can use the lockpick on that cabinet right there, or we can use this to access the lower level. I'm going to do that. Let's go ahead and clear out the rubble, even though it's going to take up some of our scavenging time. I'd like to get down to the lower level and see what we can accomplish. We get to scavenge, I think, until 5 a.m. If we fail to get back to the exit of the zone by 5 a.m., this person disappears for a couple of days, and they come back with a random status effect on them that you'll have to resolve. So it really behooves you to make sure that they make it to the edge of the zone and exit before that happens, okay? Okay, so there we go. The rebel pile is gone. It used up about 2 hours of our allocated time, though, so we're going to want to move quickly in here. Let's go ahead and check this door real fast, and we just have one lootable spot. Let's see if there's anything good. We have a lockpick and a bunch of sugar. I know the sucre doesn't sound like it's going to be that useful, but it actually is. It's one of the most valuable items in the game because you can make liquor out of it. And liquor is a trade good in this game that will lead you to everything that you want. If you have a stockpile of like 10 liquor, that will last you like the rest of the game as far as trading goes. And you'll be able to convert it into all kinds of goodies. We got cigarettes. We need food more than anything else, so I'm going to take that first. We do need parts, and we do need that. What I'd like to do now is we're going to sprint him back over here. We're going to unload all this stuff inside of this area real fast. He's quick, so he should be able to get it done pretty rapidly. We've got a few hours left. Not a lot, but something. Yeah, just put that right there, man. There you go. Perfect. We're going to keep the essentials for now. So there's weapon parts and there's bullets in there. We're going to unload all of this stuff. There we go. And then I only want to keep the most valuable things for right now. The things that are going to help us get started. I'll leave those for the... Actually, I'll leave those for the moment. I'll leave those for the moment. And then what we need to do is we need to get upstairs and unlock this door. We'll probably hit this place tomorrow. So don't panic if we don't get everything that we want out of this place today. It's barred from the other side. We'll go around, man. Oh, no. There you go. There you go. There you go. We'll break that down real fast so that we have full access to this building. We'll unlock this door. We'll grab what we can, and we'll get out of here. And that'll give us easier access to the upper level. There's a hiding spot right there. That's for assassinating people once we get to the combat portion of the game. We're not quite there yet, but combat is an important part of this game. I would recommend that you never fight anybody mano a mano. Instead, just sneak attack and murder people the entire game. Seriously, that's the way it's done. Oh, we've got meds in here. We want to take those because those are ridiculously valuable. We've got weapon parts right there. We can probably leave those alone for now. Those aren't going to be important until like a day or two from now. Ah, there's our materials. So we've got more food right there. I would like to bring back those for sure. We're going to need some wood, though, if we want to get the job done. You know what? We'll just grab it. And we'll just get on out of here. So we've got all the components for right now. Tomorrow's going to be kind of a batting cleanup day. We'll bring Marco in. He can carry a lot more stuff. He's got those 3 extra slots that Pavel doesn't have. But all in all, a pretty successful first day. We've secured food that's going to last us till the end of the week. So we're not going to have to worry about food for a little bit. Hopefully we didn't get robbed on day 1. You can get robbed on day 1. And we have valuables in the house. So I would really prefer to not get robbed on day 1. But if it happens, I guess. There's not much we could do about it. I have 2 sick people at the beginning of the game. They needed to sleep and get better. So we didn't get robbed. The night was calm. And we brought back a pretty decent run of stuff. Everybody is healthy now. That's good. He's tired, so he's going to need to sleep. You only need to feed people on the odd days. So don't worry about feeding people every single day. The way that I do it is I feed people on day 3, day 5, day 7, day 9, so on and so forth. The game is normally about 40 days long, although it ends randomly. I've had games end as early as day 29, and I've had games last up to like day 50. It just sort of depends. We can make a radio right now if we wanted to. That's pretty much one of the only things that we can make. And frankly, it doesn't tap us out too badly when it comes to our supplies. So let's go ahead and build the radio. If you don't know what the radio does, the radio is primarily useful for checking what the weather is going to be like, finding out events. So some places have a variable difficulty, and on the radio you can find out, oh, right now, separatist forces are having a battle on this map, so you probably don't want to go there. Or you might get a notification through the radio that says, like, snipers have been filtering in and out of this region, but for the last day it's been quiet, which lets you know that the snipers are now, like, inactive or whatever. It just sort of depends in the way that you want to go through the game, I guess. In fact, we can check the radio right now. A rebel leader instructed us to warn listeners not to cross the front line. Failure to comply will result in death. Despite desperate counterattacks by the rebels trying to lift the siege of Pagoran, the city remains cut off. Government forces will not allow aid to reach the city, claiming it will end up in rebel hands. Music is playing. Some classical music playing. You can leave that on if you want. If you leave the music on and you put a chair over here, it'll actually help out with people's moods. So this game does have kind of a depression system in it and a happiness system. If you go through the game murdering a lot of innocent people and stealing a lot of innocent people's stuff, you will get in trouble. Like, people will start to get depressed. They'll start to get upset, because what you have to remember is that these are normal people. These are like chefs and cooks and construction workers. Like, these guys are not hardened killers. There is a character in the game who is a hardened killer, and he just doesn't feel anything about anybody you get rid of. And actually, he's probably one of the best characters to have for when you have to make hard decisions. He allows you to kind of, like, pillage, maraud, and steal freely, but we don't have him. So anyways, we'll want to avoid it. There are also some characters that are kind of like Tyrese from The Walking Dead, where they're like extra soft and they're just doing what they have to, but they're very empathetic, and so they actually get like double debuffs when they do terrible things like rob people or kill people. and you want to keep them away from conflict as much as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be a long road to recovery for them to feel better. We don't really have a lot going on today, so I think the second that Pavel wakes up, we'll skip the rest of the day, and then we will go back to scavenging. We've got stuff to accomplish for right now. There are a great many things that I want to bring back from that school map, and we have not had a chance to bring them back just yet. Okay, Pavel has slept, so we're good to go. Let's go ahead and end the day. There's no other, like, active task for us to fiddle around with. We will put Pavel on guard, we'll put Bruno on guard, and then we'll have him go out and scavenge. And we're going to go to the ruined toy store, and we're going to pick up all the stuff that Pavel left behind. I think there was one locked container left that we hadn't gotten into. Usually locked containers have things like weapons inside of them, medicine inside them, all those kinds of goodies. And so I would definitely recommend always going out of your way to get into, like, blocked off areas as soon as possible so that you can kind of stockpile and get ready for the future. We've got 2 people on guard duty for right now. Let's go ahead and break this thing on open. That gets the lockpick out of our inventory and frees up some space, while at the same time getting us into a locked container, which more than likely is going to have some goodies in it. We've got moonshine. There you go. Moonshine, food. We've got bullets. I will pick up everything for right now, and if we have to, we'll relocate it to the front of the house. There's also a rubble pile out back. I'd like to check that and see what's inside the rubble pile for now. Come on. Oh, wow. Components for days. Lots and lots of componentry. Okay, let's run this back over to here, and we'll drop it off inside this pile, and we'll kind of pick and choose what we want to take at the end of the day once we've got everything stockpiled over here. He's only got his fists. We are going to want to focus on getting weapons as soon as possible. Things like knives, crowbars, things to protect ourselves with and to fight with, because there are bad people out there. Anytime you've got distress like this and something falling apart, there's always going to be people that try to loot and capitalize on the chaos. It's just a fact of life, is that some people have that personality type. They're going to do what they got to do in order to survive, and they don't really care if you get in their way. And so on a certain level, we've got to be like them a little bit. So we're not going to do all the horrible things in the world, but we're probably going to end up doing some bad stuff at some point. It's kind of unavoidable with this game. Alright, so we got a few more components and some gunpowder there. What else we got over here? We have some cigarettes. The thing about Bruno is that Bruno has a vice where he's addicted to nicotine. So if you have cigarettes in the house, he's going to smoke them all the time. Cigarettes are a trade good in this game. They're also a stress reducer. But Bruno tends to smoke them all up, so be ready for that if you have them in the house. We got a bunch of food over here and some liquor, too. Very nice. Definitely take all that stuff. It's going to take us at least a couple loads to get this stuff out of here, I think. Like, I think we've got at least one more day of looting this place out, would be my estimate. But I think that's everything, right? Did we get everything downstairs? Let's go look. We got plenty of time for right now, so I don't see a reason to not double-check all of our areas and make sure that we've done our due diligence here. We did get everything down below, so let's go do some loot sorting real fast. We'll run Marco back to the beginning of the map. Hopefully we were able to defend ourselves, because I think you get raided on night 2, just to, like, let you know that that is a mechanic. In general, as I recall, they don't steal that much if they do steal, but we have valuables on us right now, which is basically things like jewelry, and we want to save that for the traders. So if that gets stolen, that's going to remove a major bargaining chip for us, making our game easier as time goes along. All right, so we want to kind of, I'm going to unload all this stuff because it's easier for me to parse what I want to bring along. The food, obviously, the meds, obviously. We can leave the cigarettes for right now because Bruno's just going to smoke them anyways. We want the weapon parts. We want the electronic parts. We want the moonshine. We want the liquor. We want the bullets. We want all of the wood that we can bring along. We want parts because we already have components at the house. So we don't need to bring more components. I would suggest, out of all these things we can bring along, Bruno's just going to smoke those. So those are automatically off the list. I'm going to say let's bring some sugar with us. Sugar is a useful trade item, even if you can't turn it into liquor. It's not that great, but it is good. And we'll come back and pick up the remnants over here tomorrow night. And one thing you do want to know, though, is any location you don't actively loot is being looted by AI in other locations. So, like, as time goes along, there's going to be less and less and less for us to get out of varying locations. And so we kind of want to do this as fast and as efficient as possible. I think the only character that's better than Marco at looting is the big guy. I forget his name. There's a big dude with a backpack, and I think he's got 20 slots or something like that, which is, like, insane. It's super good. So we are going to have to make food today. I'm going to get him on that right now. You come up here, I'm going to have you craft a water still about as soon as possible because we need to start manufacturing water for ourselves. We'll have these guys sleep in just a minute. We should have enough time. And we do need to make... Yeah, use the books, I guess. So we'll make some fuel over here. We'll burn the books for right now, which is kind of a shame, but we got to do what we got to do. All right. We need a water still. Oh, if we had one more wood, we could make the metal workshop. How much water do I have? Do I have enough water to last? I have 8 water. I think we're going to have to go after water first. I don't think we're going to have a choice. I think water is going to have to be a principal concern. So we'll put in the water still first, just to ensure that we have all the supplies that we need. And then as soon as he's done with that, we'll put him to sleep. Not like in the veterinary sense, but let's have you cook up some dinners. So it's going to cost us 5 water to do that. Rough one. Okay, I'll cook it on up. We got to make 3 meals. It is unavoidable. We got to feed everybody tonight or they're going to start getting sick. But we're out of time for right now. My name is Splattercat. This is This War of Mine, the final cut, the final update to the game. If you wanted to check it out, the developers have done a bunch of work getting everything kind of mixed and matched together to make sure that, like, all of the content is packaged into just the replayable roguelike mode. Oh, we've got a trader over here. Okay. Well, as soon as we get done eating right there, we'll deal with the trader. But my name is Splattercat. I will see you all next time. Thank you for being here. If you wanted to get the game, I got a link for you down below. This is a must-have indie game, in my opinion. It's very, very good, very replayable, very fun, very dark, very haunting, and at the same time kind of sweet as well. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for stopping on in. How you doing? Take care, everybody.